Is Romania dangerous?
Yes.
Why?
Because Dracula will suck your blood.
Some women love this though. When Dracula sucked their blood.
Oh,
No, there's some fetishism about Dracula.
really?
Yeah, some women really like Dracula. Like, no?
Well, in some story, it's romantic, but in another story, it's not really that romantic.
Yeah. By Walter's World YouTube channel. Yeah, let's see if it's dangerous. I don't think so, but
Let's go.
If you're going to go hiking, do be aware. There are bears here. Literally, the bears come down looking for food. Hey, fellow travelers, my name is Walter's World, and today we're in Bucharest, Romania, and today we're going to talk about are some of the scams, tourist traps, and
Bucharest.
safety issues you might want to be aware of when you're coming here to Romania. And to start off with, I know a lot of people are like, I don't know, can I visit Romania? Is it safe to visit Romania? Yes, it is totally safe to visit Romania. It's actually my first don't of coming to Romania is don't think you're not going to be safe when you're here, because honestly, they have a very low violent crime rate. You
See,
have
there's
really
no
wonderful
vampire.
people that are helping you out. It's actually a very safe place to visit, even though people
Wow.
don't know much about Romania.
this is Switzerland or Romania? This looks like Switzerland, but it's Romania. It
So they
looked
get
like
kind of
the
worried about it.
Alps.
So I want to take that off your plate right there. You don't really have to worry about your
Not
safety when you're here.
dangerous.
Now, of course, you have to do your usual, travel safety kind of things. Use the safe in your hotel to put your passport away, and make sure you have your wallet in the front pocket. And you're a very busy place where lots of tourists are, just like anywhere in the world. But I'll be honest with you, I felt safer here in Romania than I've had in Germany or France or Spain when it comes to like pickpockets and all those kind of things. So that's one of the good things. So I want to get that. Help you calm down, and no, you don't have to worry about Dracula sucking your blood when you're here. And it's super safe, but I'll be honest with you, there's like one kind of tourist trap thing I do want you to be aware of, and that is the overabundance of Dracula and Vlad Tepe souvenirs, and how the closer you are to like Sigasora, where he's from, or Bran Castle, Dracula's castle, they're probably going to charge you a bit more for those souvenirs you want to get when you're there. So just be aware. It might be a little overpriced
normal,
at your
no?
brand castle. You're going
Yeah.
to get your eats and your snacks and your souvenirs of Romania when you are there. But in all honesty, Romania is actually a very affordable place. So even if you're getting kind of the tourist trappy prices for some of your souvenirs, because you will want to get some of the Dracula and some of the Vlad Tepe souvenirs, because you're going to see these things so much, it really is going to bust your budget. So it's okay. Aside from overpriced Dracula souvenirs, I think the one really actually tourist scam you need to watch out for. This is something that all the Romanians, literally every Romanian we've talked to, that's the first thing they'll tell us. If I ask you, hey, what should I know about Romania? What is like an unwritten rule of Romania? What should we really know? They all said, the first thing said, don't take a taxi off the street, because they know you're not from here and they're going to take advantage of you. This is not me saying this. This is multiple locals saying this. So what you want to do is you want to get an app. Like, Bolt is a big app here that
Why
we've been
it look
using,
like
and get your taxis
Asia
that way. Or get an app
again?
from one of the
Yes, we reacted. Well, we did a video about Google Map in Romania, and it looked like Thailand.
Yeah.
And when we look at the street here, even the taxi, there's a lot of similarity with Thailand.
The pole, I think.
The pole also, yes.
The tree,
The
even
tree,
the
yeah.
whole country, right?
Yeah,
But the tree, why does it look like that?
yeah. There's a lot of similarity in the taxi
Yeah.
scam too.
True.
It's also
taxi
common
companies.
here.
Is that the
Because you can
bridge?
just
Yeah.
call it up, have it on your phone. You don't have to call. You can just use the app and have it. It'll pick you up, drop you off. You already know the price you're going to pay. And like with Bolt, you can say if you want to pay via the app,
Well,
or you can pay them in
exactly, like
cash.
this.
So you can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it
yeah.
that way too.
The bit then,
and
the
that's the
building.
thing is, what you'll notice is the taxis actually already might have a Bolt logo on the side. Even if you see the Bolt logo on the side, it's still a good idea just to order with the
Whoa.
app, wait a few minutes, and you'll be fine, okay? Those things, even the locals, that's what they do all the time. So that's one of the big ones I wanted you to kind of know about. No, another little tourist trappy, scammy kind of thing. One thing I would say is make sure when you get your bill, you check your bill to make sure everything you ordered is on there. Because sometimes a little extra drink might pop on, or maybe the wrong beer is listed that might be a bit more. Now, I won't lie to you,
Whoa,
this has
this
gotten
look
way
good.
better the last few years, like the last 10 years or so. Those kind of like little scammy things at restaurants have come down a lot. So that's really cool.
What is
But I would say it's a good idea to just take a look
Wow.
at it. Also,
This
Is that
look delish.
cabbage again?
Cabbage, you think?
The wrapped cabbage
Ah, yeah, it looked delicious.
and mashed potato.
Yeah. And one huge, like, how do we call it? Scourge? I don't know the name in English.
Chili.
It's chili?
Yeah. And what is this deal?
Deal.
don't forget you
Yeah.
can tip here, and you can just tell them, hey, put on 10% or just like 10 to 15%, and you just tell them they'll put it on when you do your credit card, so it's no big deal. But you tell them when they're there. Otherwise, you need to give them the cash for the tip direct in their hands. Okay. But in general, I found the service here being very good, so I'm not really worried about getting ripped off. So that's very
Wow.
nice. And the people are very friendly, so they're helping tourists if they're in a situation. So that is really kind of cool. And when you go around Romania, especially in tourist areas, I want to let you know, not everyone has benefited from the economic boom and the European Union funds and all these kind of things. So you probably will have someone come up, sometime maybe in Brașov, sitting outside at a meal. You might have a little kid coming up to beg for you, an
Beggar.
older lady begging for you. So just be aware that it is something that does come up, and it's up to you. We were having our food, people came by, we just, here, take the food. So they had that, but it's up to you, because I know some people are like, don't do that. Some people do that, but it is up to you. I know the government recommends you do not help them out, but it's up to you for that. But I just want you to be aware of it. And they're not usually like the like, hey, give me something kind. It's like, hey, you gonna eat that? Hey, you got a little money for me? And it's just kind of like the very passive, like, kind of begging kind of thing, not the really active in your face kind of stuff that kind of gets you scared, like you have in other places, like in Chicago, like, give me $1. You don't have that when you're here. And speaking of money, I think another thing is really important is exchange houses. So if you're going to be getting money here, I mean, you definitely want to look around and look at the exchange rates, but also look at the commissions that they're going to charge, because that's one of the ways that sometimes they trick you into exchanging money there to get the lei, the local currency, and then you end up getting
Again,
a huge
why
commission.
they always trick
There's a
you?
YouTube channel. I don't know if you know. It's a guy from the Czech Republic, from Czechia, and he make video about like all the scam in his country. And he says the exchange rate is crazy. Sometimes the exchange rate, they will give you 4 times or 3 times less than the real currency. So like for $100, you're gonna get like $40 of the currency instead
Yeah.
of 100. It's crazy. Like it's a whole industry in
Kind of lose
Czechia
out.
of
So what
scammer
I
in
recommend
Prague,
you
for
do
example.
is just go to one of the banks, okay? Go into the banks and go to one of their ATMs and take out money there, and make sure for the biggest, most frustrating, scammy kind of thing out there.
Banca
And that
Nacional
is
de
the
Romania.
conversion, because you're like, oh, lei, I don't
Yeah,
know what
the
lei is. I'll just take it out for dollars.
Honestly, if people get scammed with the currency exchange, it's their own fault. I'm sorry, but you need to know that you never exchange at the airport. You always go to like a reputable brand of a country that you go in. If you go to random places in tourist area and you don't check on the internet, I mean, it's your own fault. You need to know you go in a country that they're going to try to take advantage of you in some area. You need to be smarter. If you come to Thailand, especially you guys, if you come to Thailand, be very careful. Everything that he's talking about, it's also happening here.
They'll do it that way. Look, some of the companies that do that, private companies, public, or whatever, they charge such a bad exchange rate that you might be losing 10 or 15% if you take the conversion into dollars.
Wow,
So when it
nice
offers you to
area.
pay, do you want to pay in dollars? Do you want to pay in lei? Pay in lei and let your home bank, let them deal with that, okay? Because that's going to give you a much better rate, okay? Now, other things I
Whoa.
want to talk about when you're here. Pickpocketing does occur, especially if you're here in Bucharest, with a lot of people around. You're going to
Oh, but
see the
there are a lot
sights.
of people.
Brașov,
Yeah.
it's not unheard of. It's like very rare when you have it here, but that is one of the things I always recommend. Keep your wallet in
What
your
is
front
this?
pocket
Why
if you
are
want to
there
use
so
your
many
money, but
people?
you're okay like that. But in general, your fear of pickpocketing here in Romania
near the
is
water?
significantly less than
In a
places like
square?
France or Germany. And of course, just like any place where tourists goes, you do have the usual touristy, trappy kind of things. It's going to cost you more to eat on the square than off the square. If anybody's playing the 3-card Monte or any of these things, you're not going to win those. So just be aware of the usual tourist trappy kind of things, because more and more tourists actually are coming to Romania. Now, you don't have to worry about the over-tourism, like onslaught of people, which is nice because it makes it easier to meet the people here. Also, it's a little bit easier to like keep track of where you're going and where you're at, so you feel a bit safer too, which is really
Wow,
nice.
it looks
now,
so
if we go into
clean.
like just general safety kind of things, I want to talk about
But I would expect that the tourists that go to Romania are not beginner, because Romania, it's not the first country that you're ever going to go to. So the people that have gone to Romania, I would guess that they know about France, they know about Spain, and then they have gone to a lot of country, and then they land in Romania. So I would guess that they are not stupid. Maybe they are. I don't know. You guys tell me. How tourists are in Romania? Like, are they smart or they get caught in scam,
One is driving here, which you have to realize is Romania doesn't have a lot of like 4-lane highways. There's a lot of 2 and 1 lanes, or 1 and 1, like 2-lane highways or 3-lane highways, and people will pass very, very quickly. And there's like a whole thing with how to know when you should pass, when you don't pass, because people like the trucks will signal people, and it can be very dangerous. Like we almost got killed in a head-on collision 2 days ago. I mean, it can be scary sometimes. You're like, oh my goodness. And just like any big city, like here in Bucharest, the traffic
this
can be
is
a
in
bit
the
crazy.
mountain.
So I
Look
do want everyone should be very careful when you be driving around here, because also you have a lot of these winding roads. You go to the Carpathian Mountains and stuff, and it's windy,
Yes.
and sometimes it's a lot of
I'm not gonna
switchbacks.
be
So
able to
if you
drive.
do have motion sickness, have a barf bag, but also maybe have some Dramamine to help you with that if you're going to be taking a
You
ride.
have motion
Because we did have
sickness
some
all
people
the
get a
time.
little nauseous when we were driving around. Also, when you are going around, you can do hikes here. You can ski here. There's beautiful nature here. But if you're going to go hiking, especially if like by Brașov, up in that area, do be aware there are bears here. Yes, there's even a bear sanctuary here. You just make an appointment. You can actually
Bear?
go see the bears.
Yeah.
But sometimes on the outskirts
Like the
of
animal.
Brașov, literally the bears come down looking for food. And so that is one of those things. You need to be careful. You're going to go hikes. Make sure you let people know you're going to go on a hike, but also stay on the marked
water.
paths, just like anywhere, because that's going to help you be a little bit safer. But don't be surprised if there is a bear that comes by, or there are wolves here and there are deer here. You're going to see
It's
those
probably
too. But
rare.
do be aware of that, because the wildlife, it's wild. It is not
probably
something you're going to feed.
beware of
I mean,
humans
it's
too.
not like, ooh,
I mean, I'm from Canada. People say that about Canada. Like, you're going to see bear. I have lived in Canada for the first 25 years of my life. I have never seen a bear, ever. Not one. I've seen moose. I've seen deer. I have not seen wolf. I have never seen a bear. And people talk about bear all the time in Canada, but I don't. Unless you're looking for one, you're not going to see it. And I think it's probably similar to Romania. Like, it's something that you see, but to know to not be around human. I don't know, like,
bear, let me give it some of my lovely tripe soup. No, don't do that. Oh, there's another safety thing. The tripe soup, not my jam. No, but the bear thing is a serious thing when you're like in the mountains and stuff. So do be aware
Probably
of that.
quite
Now,
far. I mean,
back in the day, I'm
yes.
sure if you look online, people talk about stray dogs and stuff. The stray dog issue that was here in Bucharest, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, doesn't exist anymore. I mean, maybe you'll see a stray dog, but like nothing really big. So that's not really a worry anymore. I saw that a lot online. I want to kind of dispel that one as well. And that's the thing, coming to Romania, like the first time I came to Romania was over 20 years ago. And I will tell you, the changes it's had in terms of better service, safer environment, the rip-offs and scams have really kind of gone away when you're here. It is a really safe place to go. And the thing is, I want to tell you, it's also a very good family-friendly place to visit, so you feel safe coming here with your family too. And the thing is, your kids will love the fact they're going to Transylvania, see all the Dracula stuff and all these kind of things are going to be a good selling point. But I will say, no matter where you are, whether you're here in Bucharest or you're going around, another safety thing I want to tell you is you got to be aware of the cobblestones, because the cobblestones themselves, they're always a little uneven, but here, especially in Bucharest, you'll see like big old holes like in the ground and stuff. And if you're sitting here looking at the beautiful architecture around Bucharest, you
And
might
then-
miss something, and not just twist an ankle, you break a leg in some of the things here. So you want to be careful with that, because there's going to be a lot of different uneven pavements. And I know some of our viewers, they're limited mobility. I will tell you, Romania is not the best for limited mobility in terms of a safety thing, but just in general of getting around. So do be aware of that. So if you're going to be going to like Bran Castle, if you have any limited mobility, it's going to be very difficult, because there's lots of very steep steps and very narrow kind of things. And I guess that would be hey, if you're claustrophobic, Bran Castle might be a little claustrophobic inducing in some of the passageways and some of the hidden passageway you go through.
Bran
So
Castle
do be
is
aware of
Dracula.
that. But overall, I got to tell you, like coming to Romania, I'm not worried at all. Like Jocelyn's going out, I'm going out. Like if Caleb, if he was here, I'd be like, hey, dude, you can go out and have some fun. I'm not really worried at all. I mean, the thing is,
Wow.
you're here in Bucharest,
You
you
do
have the
every
big city
night?
kind of worry kind of thing, but you have that in every big city, that kind of like, oh, there's a lot more people, I don't know. But honestly, Bucharest, pretty safe. Brașov, super safe. Like we were going out, no worries at all. So I hope this helps alleviate some of your fears about
Yeah.
visiting Romania.
I don't
Yes, there's
know.
some
I don't know where that reputation come from. Not just for Romania, but other country that, like, if the country is not rich, like the UK, like America, if a country is not rich, it means that somehow it's less safe. I don't know where this come from. I think it's just the media growing up.
But everywhere you go, you're gonna need to be careful, because even the rich country, the country with good system, good law, people respect the law. But there's maybe you unlucky, you're not gonna be very lucky anymore.
Yeah,
So you have to be careful.
If you cause trouble, you cause trouble. At the same time, for a woman alone, I think it's different than a man. I think your experience, if you travel alone in Europe, will be very different from my experience. The fact that you're a woman, I think that's what solo traveler women talk about all the time, is when to travel alone is completely different than a man experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, very interesting video. If there's more video from Romania that we should react to, let us know in the comment below. Yes.